have to leave it there. Unfortunately, as usual, somebody spoils it for everybody else. But as you can see, everybody else is enjoying it out here. Let's go back inside.
There's always one, isn't there? 14-8 the score in this Embassy World Championship final. Ronnie O'Sullivan. John Higgins might just have taken a little hope from taking that last frame. Let's rejoin John and Clive.
Something has disturbed Higgins, and Arian Williams, the referee, has gone to sort him out. Not a man to tangle with. He's a former police officer.
Well, it was half a chance. It was a difficult red. He fully committed. He may sit down for a while here. This is a nice opening for Ronnie.
One. Eight. Nine. Sixteen. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 16.
After his purple patch in the early frames this afternoon, Sullivan made a few mistakes in the last frame, and another one at the outset of this.
Good pot, but no position on the pink or the black. So, well, you just know he's going to take the blue on. He'll play for the red that's occupying the yellow spot. This is a must.
John Higgins, 1.
And that's what this game's all about, fractions. How close was he with that blue? Just a fraction more to the left as we looked. In it goes. It didn't, so Ronnie gets another chance.
The pack opener fails.
4. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Let Higgins off lightly there.
Well, he's got a good line. Well, not just wide enough. I thought he was going to get the cue ball behind the blue there, but it's still a good safety. And there's a familiar face. Loves his snooker, does Naz. Two great stars. Well, he's one of the big stars of Sheffield. Former world boxing champion now, but don't worry. If I know him, he'll be back.
Couldn't keep his safety in baulk. But O'Sullivan's fires of inspiration have just burned a little lower in the last 20 minutes after his superb early form.
Well, almost inch perfect, but it's not a snooker, and John Higgins is looking to see if he can play this red into the left corner. He's got to avoid those two reds though on the right hand side of the table to get back to baulk. Now, can he get behind the blue this time?
Not quite. The red from which he played safe flicked off another red in a manner that O'Sullivan didn't expect. So here's a starter for Higgins.
One.
Well, the blues spoilt real good position. Easy snooker, of course, just roll to the yellow. Be certain to be tight behind the brown, but thinking of snooker behind the blue. I don't think he can pot the yellow and come up the table, so just stun it behind the brown.
John Higgins, one.
So now down to Ronnie to find an escape route that won't leave John a chance. It's not straightforward, this, by any means. Be a good shot to get this safe. Such a genius there.
Not quite a snooker this time. And not only that, but just room to reach the potting angle.
Well, it's remarkable, isn't
Ronnie
it?
O'Sullivan, one.
He goes 3 frames, looks as though he can't miss a pot, and all of a sudden, last couple of frames, mistake after mistake. Can John cash in?
Eight. 9. 16. 17.
May have left himself awkward bridging for this pink.
$23.
Slightly hampered, couldn't do a lot with the cue ball.
$24.
But that pink and now that red takes him into a 5-point lead. And just looking at the table, there's an awkward yellow, but if he gets
31.
these reds that are left with colours, that'll be more than enough to win the frame at this visit.
32.
Wouldn't need the awkward yellow. This is an excellent chance, and you've got to take your hat off to him. A lot of players in this situation would have
38.
wilted, particularly 3 frames. He never potted a ball, but he stuck
39.
at it. He's missed a few easy balls, but he hasn't let it affect his next shot when he's come back to the table. And Ronnie's made a few mistakes, but that's because John Higgins won't go away. $27 points in front. These 2 reds in the open
46.
with colours, and he wins the frame.
$47. 53. 54.
Just the black. Plays it, 42 ahead. Just 35
61.
remaining.
So having been 14-7 behind, Higgins has reduced his arrears to 14-9.
65.
It's still uphill for him,
65 in frame.
but at least that's the start. 2 consecutive frames for Higgins, but a 14-9 lead for O'Sullivan.
And there's still a little light at the end of the tunnel, no doubt about that. And yet there was a spell, John, in that frame and before it that John just looked very, very shaky, didn't he?
It just looked like the first signs of being on the wane a little bit. I wouldn't blame him in the slightest. He's had a gruelling semi-final and he looked like he was just trying to stem the tide against Ronnie there, who had a purple patch that was just fantastic. In fact, for 3 or 4 frames he was unplayable. Simple as that. But every credit to him. We know he's tough and we know he's tenacious and he's still in there fighting, and he's not going to go away.
Yeah, it must be so difficult to sit in your chair and watch your opponent playing snooker from the gods, because Ronnie was, for those 4 frames, absolutely brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was indeed. He's just dipped a little bit, you know. He's just missed 1 or 2 balls, and it's just encouraged John to stay in there and keep fighting away. And it's interesting really, but when Ronnie's had frames like this one coming up to finish a session,